Before we get into this video, I wanted to thank everybody watching for 500,000, well actually now 600,000 subscribers. Because seriously, the channel has been crazy recently. We gained 120,000 subscribers in the last month. So if you are new to the channel, or maybe you've been watching for years, thank you so much for supporting in whatever way you have. Whether it be buying my YouTubes, coming to Comic-Con and saying hi, or literally just watching one of my videos, I can't thank you enough. Oh, and also on the topic of subscribers, I did want to ask, if you found me through shorts, could you pop it in the comment section below? And if you do, which short made you subscribe? Because I've been doing a lot more of them recently, and I found out one short gained me 70,000 new people, so there's got to be some of you guys watching. And anyways, let's get into the video, because when I do hit big milestones like this, I try to treat myself and buy a bigger figure than I would normally buy. And so inside of this bad boy right here, we've got a Star Wars figure that I've been super excited about and I've been wanting for years. But before we get into this, I want to show you guys some of my other favorite Star Wars characters that I've got in my collection, because it's actually a blue box figure that I've never seen in person before, and I've got, what do we got over here? 8 blue box figures that I've had in my collection for a long time, but don't really have a good chance to talk about them. And also, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about with blue box figures, it's actually the original waves of Star Wars ones. And because in the very beginning of Funko Pops, not as many people were collecting, but a lot of people later on wanted those original ones, Funko re-released them with black boxes. And so let's just jump into the first one here, which is Chewbacca. I mean, come on, look at how old this guy looks. You can even tell from the glam shot on the front, like it's just way bigger here than it is on the actual pop. And there is one thing that kind of bothers me about this one, and it's nothing to do with the box, it's actually to do with the figure. In my old setup, I used to have them all out of the box, and the problem with that was that I actually like to take the bases off of them because Star Wars was the only one that had those. And so I had a giant bag of Star Wars bases because on the original ones you could pop them off, and I have never been able to figure out which one goes with Chewbacca. I mean, it's in the bag somewhere, I just have no clue what goes on his feet. So you'll notice inside of the box there actually isn't one, and if you guys want to take a look here on the back side, this would be the original 7 that released. I mean, seriously crazy that I have this. And now it is kind of funny though, because even though this is the blue box version, it's still released in 2014, but I believe this figure originally came out, I want to say in like 2011, maybe 2012. So it's not the original Chewbacca, but it is the original sculpt with the blue box, so it's pretty close. Then after that, everybody, we have another figure without a base, but he's supposed to not have a base because it is the original Jabba the Hutt. And now this one here also came out in 2014, I believe a little bit later on in the year. Yeah, it would have been. Actually, I believe it's only about 2 months, which is kind of crazy. And if you guys want to take a look at him, he's one of my favorites from the original sets. And now it's funny because Chewbacca was number 6 in the Star Wars line, but this one here is number 22, and there are some really great ones on the back of the box. And I believe I have, out of this set here, I think 4 out of the 6, because I've got Luke, Jawa, and then I've got Jabba, and then maybe that's it. Maybe only 3. Because I definitely don't have Slave Leia, I don't have a Clone Trooper, and I've been meaning to get a Tusken Raider, but haven't yet. And so I guess that is a bit of a spoiler, guys. The figure in the box down here is not a Tusken Raider. And now let's do another one of the original characters. We have C-3PO, but not just anyone. This is actually the blue box version where he's chrome. And now I know I've talked about this before on the channel, but I love the way they did these chrome figures, where it isn't like the entire thing is gold. His eyes are still normal colors, as well as the wires in the middle. Oh, and you know what? Taking a look at the back of this box, we have some interesting ones here. So I've got the Boba Fett, I've got Darth Maul. You know what? I think I have most of this set. The only one that I'm actually missing is the Gamorrean Guard, and I do have one of the newer ones from The Mandalorian, but I do not have this original version. So maybe if I see one in the future, I'll have to pick one up, because that would finish off the set. Could be a lot of fun. Oh, and by the way, for anybody wondering, I did actually pick this one up when it originally released, and I don't believe I was making videos back then. No, it might have been right when I first started. Which is kind of a crazy thing to talk about while doing a milestone video. I might not have even been making videos when this figure came out. Oh, crazy. Now let's get into this one up here, which is definitely actually, wait a second. Oh, they're still counting this as Boba Fett, so it's number 8. Interesting. Okay, never mind. I thought it was going to be way later on, but this is actually the Boba Fett prototype that was exclusive to Walgreens. I remember when I was first able to find this one, it was a crazy figure to see on the shelf. And there's also 3 others in the set, which is Yoda Spirit, Snow Trooper, and Imperial Guard. And I believe I have the Snow Trooper, but the other 2 I definitely do not have. And if I ever saw that Yoda, I would love to pick it up. I just never see that one anywhere, like comic book stores, the flea market, nothing. So if anybody knows a good place to pick that one up for a reasonable price, please let me know. And I know I could probably get it on some secondary market, I just haven't really looked yet. Oh, and also something that I did want to mention about the Boba Fett prototype is that it's kind of funny because the name is different on the pop than it is the soda. I believe for the soda, the Chase was actually the prototype version, but they called it White Boba Fett or like White Suit Boba Fett. It didn't say prototype. And the only reason I could have thought it was maybe they didn't want people to think they got prototypes and they started putting them up, calling them prototypes. They just decided to go with the white version of Boba Fett because it was a little bit easier to differentiate the two. Now we're getting into one that doesn't really have a great box, but I still love to show it off. This here is the original Bosk, and I don't remember how much I got this for, but if you take a look at the top here, it definitely wasn't a lot. Actually, no, I remember where I got it. It was over at GameStop, and the reason that that sticker was on the top there was because it was a sale one. I think I got it for like $6.99 or something like that. It definitely wasn't a lot. It was like the last one on the shelf. I was just so surprised to see it. I knew I had to pick it up. And again, this is another one of those figures that I wish I was filming for, and it was probably even before I started making videos. Or again, at the very beginning before I started making pop-ups. And now taking a look at the back of this set here, I have a good amount of these actually. I've got Luke Skywalker Hoth, I've got Hammerhead Biker Scout, both versions of the Wampa. I don't have the armless one, but I do have the flocked version. And I think the only one I might be missing is Emperor Palpatine? I think so. And also another thing that I wanted to mention is that I kind of enjoyed the original Bosk more than I liked the redone one a couple years ago. Or actually, would it have been like 2021, something like that? I don't know, there was something about the orange eyes on the new one that I just don't really enjoy, and this one here really is perfect to me. And maybe it's because the other one was a little bit too detailed, and I know that sounds crazy, but there's just something about this one that looks kind of cute that you don't normally see Bosk in. And now everybody, maybe I should have shown this one off right after I talked about Jabba, but we've got Bib Fortuna, number 53 in the Star Wars line. And again, taking a look at the back of the box, I have 3 of these, and I think that's it. Or maybe I also have Princess Leia Bouche. No, I don't have her. I always pass on her for some reason whenever I see her at the flea market. So yeah, I definitely have the bottom 2, and I might have the TIE Fighter pilot. Well, I can tell you this, I definitely have the TIE Fighter pilot in TIE Fighter, but I don't think I have him separate. But anyways, taking a look at Bib Fortuna, this is the only time we've ever got him as a pop, and we've never got him since. And so that's probably why this one is a little bit more expensive, because they never redid him. This is the only way you can get him, and he definitely looks a little bit weird with that kind of like, I don't know what you call them, like, I mean, udders? Is that the right word? Whatever's under his face. And now, everybody, we are getting into number 45 in the Star Wars line. I wonder if anybody could guess which character it is, but this one here is R2B1 with that original GameStop exclusive sticker. And funny enough, I didn't actually pick this one up over at GameStop. I picked it up at EB Games in Canada, but a lot of the times we would get that GameStop sticker here in Canada by accident. I don't really know. And looking on the back here, I do have this entire set. I remember they released for, it might have been like some Star Wars event, or maybe they just all came out at the same time. I'm not exactly sure, but they were all exclusive to GameStop, and yeah, this is a really fun one. And I do remember picking these ones up, and I believe our first ever pop hunt on the channel, so really, really cool to kind of circle around and talk about them now once we hit 600,000. Oh, and you know what? I probably should have shown off the snowy Chewbacca, because it is the exact same sculpt as the one that we took in a little bit earlier, just with a bit of snow on top. And now, everybody, for this last figure that I want to show you is one that I do not have in my collection. My brother had it. He was a big fan of this one, and I don't know, I never picked this one up. He actually got it out of a mystery box a long time ago. I believe it was a Fugitive Toys one over at Toronto Comic-Con, or maybe it was Fan Expo. Either way, it was really, really cool that he was able to get it, and it's one that he's loved in his collection ever since. It is the Shock Trooper, another 2015 Galactic Convention exclusive. Actually, I say another one, but the other one that we talked about, C-3PO, was San Diego Comic-Con, but this one was actually Star Wars Celebration. Oh, and it's funny, I guess this one would have released around the same time as Bosk, because he's on the back of the box. And also, very similar to Bib Fortuna, this is the only time we've ever been able to get a clone trooper, or a shock trooper to be more specific, and I'm kind of wishing, and I don't know, the problem is that this figure just looks so perfect, but I wish that Funko would do something where maybe they did like a 6-pack of a bunch of different troopers. I think that would look really cool. And it's gotta be the clone ones with all of the different suit colors. I think it would look amazing. Even just do them in all the same sculpt, I wouldn't care. And I mean, here's the thing, it would be nice if it was a little bit more detailed, but just to get more clone troopers would be amazing in general. And now, everybody, it is time. Let's get into this crazy package. Like, seriously, you guys have no idea how pumped I am to see this thing in person. And oh, I forgot about the other thing inside. And it's actually not something I'm going to be showing you guys today. Let me do this at least to give you guys a bit of an idea. This is for a video coming this weekend, so get excited about it. I've got a really good idea for it. And I do want to mention that I actually ordered this over from Savage Pops on Whatnot. He has been so helpful when it comes to a lot of grails that you guys have seen on the channel. And if you guys want to check him out, he does live streams every Sunday. I definitely recommend him. And so here we go, everybody, it is time. Let's take a look at this thing. Ooh, I don't know if I want to show you guys yet. This is just such a massive grail for me. I am so glad that I was able to get it. Are you guys ready for this? Let me just slowly bring it on screen. Can you see it? There's the post-it note, and oh my gosh, the holographic Darth Vader. And like I've mentioned 1,000 times in this video, this is something that I've been wanting for so long. And taking a look on the back side here, I've actually got a good amount of these characters. Like, I've got Wicket, I've got Queen Amidala, I've got R2-D2, and I've got Jar Jar Binks. The only two I'm missing is Admiral Akbar and Lando. And now also, if you guys don't know why this is such a big grail, let me tell you a little bit about this figure, because on the bottom here, I believe this might actually be my oldest one because it came out in 2013. This was only available at Houston Comic-Con, and there hasn't been very many figures that were exclusive to there. I think maybe like less than a handful, like 4 or 5. And because it was in 2013, this was of course before a lot of collectors were buying figures like they are today. So people want to go back to try to finish off their Star Wars sets, and because they probably didn't make very many of this character, it's super hard to get. And it's also super hard to get a real one of these, because if you go on eBay, you'll actually find a lot of fakes, and this one here is definitely legit because you can tell by a little bit of, like, I want to say shelf wear, as well as just like what it looks like in general. Because if you take a look on the sides here, it doesn't look like a very clean box, like somebody recreated it last year. Do you guys know what I mean? Because the box is still in great condition, but I kind of enjoy the fact, and some of you guys might think I'm crazy for this, but I kind of enjoy the fact that you could tell that this has been sitting on a shelf for like, what, over 10 years now, or actually just about 10 years. Because if you see down in the bottom here, there's like a very small little crease. Then on the sides here, if you hit it in the right light, you'll notice just like very minor things, which, if I'm going to be honest, enjoy that because it makes it seem a lot more legit. And of course, Savage Pops would never sell anything fake on his streams, but it's just nice to know that it has that little bit extra, so I really do know it's real. And now, everybody, I guess it's time. Let's take it out of the box. And I don't know if this thing's ever been taken out, but I gotta do it. Ooh, here we go. Oh my gosh. And now I definitely do not want to lose the base for this one. It's gonna be sticking with the Darth Vader for sure. And I believe the base should actually come off. I think it does. Yeah, it does. Oh my gosh, take a look at this. Seriously, an amazing figure to have in the collection. Now, because it does glow in the dark, we gotta test it out. All right, everybody, we are officially in the dark, and let me show you what the glow looks like. That's amazing. Like, I bet if I put it near my face, can you see me? Kinda, a little bit. And I'm gonna be honest, it looks bluer in person. On the camera, it looks pretty green, but here, I don't know, it's looking a little bit more Force ghosty, you know? And anyways, definitely a cool addition to these holographic figures. I love this thing. And well, everybody, there we go. That is everything for today. And again, I can't thank you guys enough for 500 and 600,000 subscribers. And I guess it is possible we could be hitting that 1 million subscribers this year. But you know what? I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. I do just want to thank you guys for the milestones that we've already hit. And I guess next up would be like, let's say 650. That'd be a good number to try to hit. And so now I guess I'm gonna have to find somewhere nice to put this Darth Vader, and I don't know where it's gonna be. Somewhere high up for sure. And again, guys, don't forget about this giveaway that's gonna be possibly happening this weekend. And I say possibly because you guys are gonna have to watch the video. It's gonna be a crazy one. And anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll see you tomorrow.